Front straightaway, they're coming at you. Pick them out, wave, and send them off in style. And now we're going to rack, stack, reload, and get ready to go. 30 laps the distance, $5,000 on the line. Everybody falling in place behind the beautiful pace truck here at Lucas Oil Speedway. As scoring, looking over the field, making sure everybody's exactly where they need to be. Drivers getting the one to go signal this time by. The lights down. The field set. 30 laps the distance, $5,000 on the line. It's time. Looking for green out of turn number 4. Xavier Doney, Gunnar Ramey, Hahn, Park, Jennington, Dover, Gass, Bellum, Crockett, Paulus, Jack Wagner, Cameron Key, Peterson, Russell, Samuel Wagner, Reese Moran, Schumann, Jones, Howard Moore, Corey Bales, Riley Kreisel, Mitchell Moore. The field looking for green out of 4. It's waving. We're racing Lucas Oil Speedway for Summer Thunder. Out to the early advantage, the 74, Xavier Doney. Here comes Blake Hahn down to the inside. Gunnar Ramey, a 3-car battle up front. Hahn to the low line. Doney running high side. Caution will wave. You picked a fine time to leave me loose. Wheel over in turn number 1 as Samuel Wagner pulling it to the inside. Back straightaway, caution waves. So the time has elapsed. The lights go down. The field set. We are coming back to green flag conditions out of turn number 4. Wagner crew will continue to work over there. If we don't get any laps in the book, he will be able to rejoin us. However, we're coming to green flag racing out of turn number 4. In the Pitts Realty start zone out of 4 with Doney. Ramey on the high side. Green waves. We're racing with a Powri 410 sprint at Lucas Oil Speedway. Xavier Doney, your early leader. Blake Hahn looking on the low side. Here comes Ramey running the high side. Jace Park right there in 4th as Kyle Bellum rounding out the top 5. Jace Park putting a slider on himself, exit of 4 to avoid contact with the 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Ramey round the outside. He's maintaining momentum in that second spot. Park to 3rd. Blake Hahn not going to go away. He's right there in 4th. Bellum rounding out the top 5, but on the low line looking. Here comes the 14T of Jack Dover. Jennington all the way up out into the 7th spot looking for more. Noah Gass to 8th. Roger Crockett 9. Jack Wagner rounding out the top 10. Slider for 2nd as, clipped the wall, the 45X. Jace Park. Contact with the wall, exit of turn number 4 as he put a slider right in front of the 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Doney's race to start as the leader. In the pits restart zone over in turn number 4. Ramey up on the high side. Hahn, Bellum, Dover, Jennington in the top 6, looking for green out of 4. Doney's race to start. Good fire off in car number 74 of Xavier Doney. Blake Hahn not fooled in the 52. 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Here comes the 3 of Jennington. 14E of Kyle Bellum. Bellum going to look to the low line as they go into turns number 3 and 4. Hahn up to the high side. Jennington going to follow suit. Noah Gass and Jack Wagner side by side at the flag stand. Everybody now scooting out to the top side here at Lucas Oil Speedway. It's Doney, Ramey, Hahn, Bellum, Jennington, the top 5. Outside looking in, Jack Dover, Noah Gass, Roger Crockett, Jack Wagner, Miles Paulus, all within the top 10. Everybody really riding the rim here tonight, as Top Shelf definitely has the speed. Noah Gass going to put a slider on car number 14T. Jack Dover, though, too much momentum around the top side. Dover maintaining that position just outside the top 5. Up front, Xavier Doney in that car number 74. A second and a half advantage over the 21 of Xavier Doney, or of Gunnar Ramey, rather. 52 of Blake Hahn right there in the 3rd spot. 14E of Kyle Bellum. The 3 of Jennington. Jennington now going to look to the low line, put a slider up on Bellum. Bellum going to try to cross him over outside of turn number 2. Jennington now pinned up to the high side, exactly what Jack Dover wants to see. Dover going to try to reel him in as we got a 3-car battle inside the top 5. Move Jennington up a position as lap traffic all in front of our leader, the 74 of Xavier Doney. 2 seconds ahead of that car number 21 of Gunnar Ramey, all in the thick of lap traffic. He's going to put the 91 of Riley Kreisel 1 lap down, a back marker between our leader Doney and the 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Ramey to the top side. He's going to get around Kreisel as well. Next driver in the sights of our leader is Howard Moore in car number 3M. The lead is shrinking. Last time by a second and a half. This time by 0.7 of a second. Ramey is there. Doney had stretched it out to a 2-second lead, and now it's down to about a half a second as they go into turns number 3 and 4. The top 3 up on the top shelf. Side by side, second and third, as Blake Hahn going to put a slider right in front of the 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Way up the track goes Hahn, but caution comes out before, as the 77 of Gentleman Jack Wagner facing the wrong way in a one-way. High side in turn number 4 for the 77 of Jack Wagner. Wagner on a Lone Jack, Missouri, Wagner Boys Racing Stable, KC Platinum Contractors, AFD Graphics, Jesse Hockett Racing, Best Osage Mini Mark, SNS Electrical, Dirt Track Souvenirs, Maxim Chassis with the Donut Racing Engine. The 77 of Wagner facing the wrong way. High side in turn number 4. Just at the 1/3 point of the race, 10 laps down, 20 laps to go here in the $5,000 payday for the Powri 410 Outlaw Sprint League. Looks like Wagner may be trying to get that car righted, face the right way, fire it off, and get it tagged to the rear of the field. And Jack Wagner had been running inside the top 10 in the 9th position as that caution flag came out, and he will tag it to the rear of the field. Big movers and shakers so far throughout the feature. Kyle Bellum moving up 3 positions from 8th to 5th. Kyle Jones from 18th to 15th, also up 3 spots. Wagner had moved up a pair of positions before the caution waved as he refires and tags to the rear of the field. Corey Bales also up a pair of positions. Jennington, Crockett, Cameron Key, Ricky Peterson, and Riley Kreisel all gaining 1 spot so far throughout the feature event. Lap leaders, it's all been Xavier Doney so far. Doney chasing his first career Powri 410 Outlaw Sprint League feature win. See if he can continue on his hot streak here this evening, as it looks like off track, car number 91 of Riley Kreisel. So Kreisel going off the track out of Warsaw, Missouri. DK Racing, Missouri 1, call 811. Truman Lake Marine and Motorsports, Advantech Dyno Service, LisaSellsTheLake.com, Royal Power Sports, EMI, and a Speedway Racing Engine. Tough break for the 91 of Riley Kreisel. Everybody nose to tail out on the racing surface here in a single file restart with the Powri 410 Sprint League. 10 laps down, 20 laps to go. Doney setting the pace. Ramey, Hahn, Jennington, Bellum in the top 5. Good start. Xavier Doney separated from the field as he goes into turns number 1 and 2. Blake Hahn going to look to the low line. Jennington following suit. Kyle Bellum and Gunnar Ramey up on the high side. Ramey nearly clipped the wall as Blake Hahn got a huge run down the back straightaway. Again, he pulls it to the low line, fires out of the corner. Hahn up to 2nd, Bellum to 3rd, Ramey back to 4th. Ayrton Jennington rounding out the top 5 as Jack Dover, Miles Paulus, and Noah Gass right ahead of Roger Crockett and the 31 of Cameron Key rounding out the top 10. Key with a little bit of puff of smoke as he goes through the corner way up the track in that car number 31. Moving and shaking all throughout the field. Doney still the trendsetter up front. Blake Hahn running in second. Jennington able to clear the 14E of Kyle Bellum, moving him back into fourth as Jennington taking over the third spot. Car 3 to position 3. The 14E of Kyle Bellum to fourth. As keep an eye on that car number 98, the Monster Miles. Paulus running the low line here in Wheatland to perfection, pulling wheel to wheel with that car number 21 of Gunnar Ramey. Paulus, a huge run down on the low line, getting that bite off the corner and able to keep pace, gaining some ground on the 14E of Kyle Bellum. Also, Jack Dover moving down a little bit, moving up through the field. The 11 of Roger Crockett as the lap's continuing to tick away. We're at the halfway mark. Doney still leading the way. Hahn in second. Jennington in third. Then we have a battle for fourth and fifth. Kyle Bellum in the 14E and Miles Paulus in the 98P. Two very distinct and different lines. Paulus running low as the 14E of Kyle Bellum up on the high side by side, coming out of each corner. Off track goes car number 31 of Cameron Key. He pulls it to the infield, watching the rest of this one. Lap still ticking away as, big puff of smoke. The 11 of Roger Crockett. It looks like the engine just expires down the back straightaway as puff of smoke, and up she goes. Caution comes out onto the racetrack. He's going to try to pull that one down into the infield. Everybody trying to get around the 11 of Roger Crockett. Lights down, field set. A green flag awaits out of turn number 4. Doney setting the pace. Hahn laying in wait. Jennington, Paulus, Bellum, top 5, back to racing here at Lucas Oil Speedway for Summer Thunder as they go into turns number 1 and 2. Hahn going to look to the low line. Doney running the rim up to the high side. Here comes Jennington in the 3. Kyle Bellum in the 14E. The 98P of Miles Paulus. 20G of Noah Gass, Ramey, Jack Dover, all running inside the top 10. Gonna have a battle for the second spot. Jennington gonna go to the low line on car number 52 of Blake Hahn side by side as they come out of turn number 4. Hahn has the momentum and position, but Jennington not gonna go away on the low line. Caution waves. It looks like a 45X. Jace Park up on the high side of turn number 4. Jace Park again out of Overland Park, Kansas, part of Johnny Herrera Racing, JB Henderson Construction, Miller Bond at MVT Services, Maxim Chassis with a Ryder Racing engine. The 45X of Jace Park. Competition director over there, Talon Turner, getting the 45X of Park out of gear and back into position, where the Francis recovery buggies can fire him off, and he tags it to the rear of the field. I believe 17 laps in the books. Unless we back it up a lap, 16 laps in the books, just past halfway. How about that? Scoring, looking over the field, making sure everybody's in the position that they need to be. And don't forget, race fans, if you like what you see here tonight, we'll be back in action tomorrow night at the Missouri State Fair Speedway, concluding activities in the Missouri State Fair, as well as the Powri Superstocks and Powri B mods in action tomorrow night. And if you can't make it to the track, you can watch everything live from start to finish. A little bit of a bonus going on this weekend, brought to you by Start to Finish. If a driver can win tonight and then back it up tomorrow night at the Missouri State Fair Speedway, well, they win an extra $2,500. So here at Lucas Oil Speedway, the lights go out, the field set, coming to green out of turn at number 4. It's Doney, Hahn, Jennington, Bellum, Paulus. Looking for green, coming out of turn number 4. Another great start by that car number 74 of Xavier Doney. Jennington going to shoot to the top on the 52 of Hahn. Hahn going to get some momentum down the back straightaway. Paulus and Bellum wheel to wheel as they go into 3 and 4. Noah Gass right there. Here comes the 14T of Jack Dover in the mix. Again, Hahn looking on the low line. He's going to gain some ground on the 74 of Xavier Doney. Looking for a slider out of 4. Doney going to cross him back over side by side. It's still Xavier Doney at the front, but Hahn not going to go away. Again, he pulls it to the low line in turns number 1 and 2. Jennington right there in car number 3. Paulus and Bellum inside the top 5. Now Jennington going to look to the low line, let it drift up. Hahn going to cross him over out of 4. Good evasive driving to stay inside the podium placements. It's Doney, Hahn, and Jennington side by side. Exit of 2. Move Jennington up to second. Hahn back to third. Kyle Bellum in 4th. Miles Paulus still rounding out the top 5, running that low line. The 14T of Jack Dover on the outside looking in. Dover up to the high line. He's going to get some momentum down the back straightaway, gaining on Paulus as the lap's starting to tick away. 21 laps in the books that time. 22.8 to go this time by. Jennington going to clip the wall out of turn number 4. Gathers it up, gaining some ground on our leader. Last time by, 1.1 second was the separation between first and second. Out of turn number 4, this time by at the line. The separation, it's still 1.1, but this time it's with a 9. 1.19 separation between the top 2. Hahn right there in 3rd. Bellum, Paulus, Jack Dover, Noah Gass, Gunnar Ramey, Ricky Peterson, and Kyle Jones now rounding out the top 10. 24 laps in the book, 6 to go. Just under a second between the top 2 as off the track goes car number 1, JR of Steven Russell. Russell going to pull down into the infield. Watch the rest of this one. 5 laps to go with our leader. It's Xavier Doney. 1.030 separation between the 74 of Xavier Doney and the 3 of Ayrton Jennington. 4 laps remain. Doney, Jennington, Hahn, Bellum, Paulus still your top 5. Paulus now going to step up to the top shelf here in the waning laps as Xavier Doney trying to chase down his first career Powri 410 Outlaw Sprint League feature win. He has wins in the non-wing sprints. Former Rookie of the Year in wingless, now the reigning Rookie of the Year in the wing style, Xavier Doney. Chasing a little bit of history for himself, but right there in that second spot, half a second back now, the 3 of Ayrton Jennington. Late race dramatics may come into play because we're going to be looking at the white flag one more time around. Can Doney hold on? Can Jennington run him down? White flag waves one more time. It's Xavier Doney, our leader. Jennington going to fade just a little bit. He slipped off turn number 2. It's a separation between the top 2. Jennington drives it in deep off turn number 4 for his first career Powri 410 wing sprint win. It's car number 74, the X-Man, Xavier Doney. Second place belongs to car number 3 of Ayrton Jennington, the 52 of Blake Hahn. In the final podium placement, Kyle Bellum in 4th, and Miles Paulus rounding out the top 5.